Star League, everybody here. The challenger rounds are going down. We just had Super get 3-0'd by Sue. Sue looking really strong these days, but now we're about to jump into the second match of the night. It's going to be Cure versus Soulkey.
This should be a very interesting match, Valdez. A very, very close one. I thought the last one was going to be close, but not as close as this one. Cure with the insane TVZ. Like every time we've seen this guy playing this matchup, he's looked so crisp. He's looked so on top of it with great understanding and great sort of bio-mind play. And now we have Soulkey. Soulkey also kind of showing his own flavor in this matchup, going for that two-base sort of muter style more than anything else, but doing it so very well, transitioning to that third base, going into a standard sort of Ling muter Bane style, but he does it so damn well. He's always been one of those powerhouse Zergs from the Kesper side of things, and I'm very excited to see what he's got planned here today. Yeah, man, I just want to jump into these games like screw introductions. I just want to watch these two go head-to-head, but in terms of introductions, here we got Cure. He has done quite well overall. He did make it to the round of 4 over at GSL Code S, Season 3, 2014 there. So definitely doing quite well for himself. Not quite making any finals for himself yet. I think he got one there, but he hasn't won any is what I'm trying to say. Here's Soulkey. He's got a big lineup of lots of results here. Lots and lots and lots of results. He's been around for quite a while now, a couple of years in Starcraft 2. Yeah. And in his last kind of ZVT, he did defeat Gumiho to qualify for the SSL, actually. Gumiho's not an easy opponent, you know? Gumiho's actually quite decent these days. Yeah, fantastic mech Terran. So hopefully for Cure, he isn't going mech today. Could be a big problem for him. We look at some stats going into this game. Percentages and whatnot, and all those interesting things. He actually did drop a best of 3 to Gumiho in that Star League qualifiers before he managed to pull through. That's pretty interesting there, actually going down 0-2. And then he went in the losers bracket finals there up against Trust, winning 2-0. Yeah, did we actually cost any of his matches in the qualifier? I can't remember. I don't think so. You know, I don't remember any. We casted a lot of Hero versus Zone, that I remember. Right, right. Oh. Who could forget those games? Damn. Some of the best we've ever seen. Hopefully never again. I hope they didn't record those. Yeah, well, one interesting thing to talk about Cure is he did defeat Dark in his latest Pro League match, which is pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. But here we go. Here is the look at the maps. We are going to start with Overgrowth, then Merry-Go-Round, King Sejong, Cactus Valley. Cactus Valley. What? We're actually going to see what this map looks like. I'm very excited. I think this is in the pool, actually, for Legacy of the Void. Oh, really? It's one of those maps? I think I've played this a bunch. Okay. I think I know which one this is, actually. I think it's the one where, I don't know how much of the beta you've played, but I think it's, there's like a little tucked-in natural with no second ramp. There's like a big rock next to it, and then there's like a third with a ramp to go up to it, like across the way. I don't know. We'll see if we ever get to that. I mean, it's set 4. Could very well be a 3-0 for one of these players. We'll see where they're at as we get ready for number 1. It's going to be on Overgrowth. You know, if there were one matchup here that I thought would go to Game 5, I think it would be this one. I have to agree with you there. It is going to be very close, unless one of these players is feeling a bit off today. That is the question. Guys, we're going to jump into set number 1 here on Overgrowth. It's match 5 of the Challenger League for Star League. Let's jump into it. It's Cure versus Soulkey right now. Up in the top right in the blue, the Terran player from the Jin Air Green Wings. He is Cure. Down here to the bottom left, we do have the Zerg player, Soulkey. Yeah. And now, guys, I know that last series wasn't the most exciting one. For you guys in the chat, I know you're listening. First of all, Kappa. But second of all, go out there and get on Twitter. Get on Team Liquid. Tell them that this match is happening. Get on Reddit. I know we've had a couple of crashes, and even that the stream started a little bit late. We're sorry about that. It's out of our control, but we're trying to gear up from there, trying to get the viewership going. So definitely tell people this is going on. It's definitely a match to watch. Yeah, and by all means, give us feedback on Twitter if you guys have any more problems with the stream. We're always willing to hear what you guys have to say and put forth the necessary comments and suggestions to the Meteor team.
We actually always pass it on. I can't think of one time where we haven't passed it on because we care a lot about the stream. We want it to be working. We want you guys to watch these games. We're casting for a reason, you know? So definitely give us that feedback, and we'll do our best to send it along to the right people.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it. As we see Cure go for a gas expand by the looks of things. Going to be that one Rax CC that we have seen him go so many times in the past. It gives him that those quick Marines out to defend any sort of early Zergling pressure, as well as deny all that Overlord scouting. I like this kind of style, stylistic sort of build order from Cure. We don't see it from many Terrans these days. Usually it's always going to be that Reaper opening to claim map control.
That's the thing about it, you know. If you go Reaper, you can see everything that your opponent is doing pretty much, and even get out alive with that Reaper. Maybe even put down some harass, you know, do some damage to some drones, some Zerglings, even Queens. But with this kind of style, it's more like, you know, you're defending. You're pushing away those Overlords. You're denying his scouting, like taking control of your own base. And of course, Marines over time are going to be the better unit in terms of like having them in your composition. You know, they're going to be a lot more useful when it comes to, you know, later game. I mean, if you are going to go for a heavy harass style, that Reaper can definitely be valuable, but Cure doesn't look like he wants to go for that.
Yeah. Marines are always going to be that sort of in part of that composition, and obviously Reapers do have their expiration date, usually when the Zergling speed is finished. But I mean, the one disadvantage Cure does have from this is he doesn't have any sort of scouting available to himself. He can only guess when the speed is going to be unless he commits an SCV to it, or what could actually be coming his way, which is one disadvantage, and which is usually why we do see that Reaper opening. Still, Cure has done very well with this build in the past, and it's pretty much the main build he goes to for this matchup.
Yeah. I like what Soulkey has done. He's identified the build, and he's pulled back all of his Overlords but one. That one that can be, you know, fine right over the little ledge there at the natural. And he doesn't even have one by the main, so he's just got that one over there.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting that he did go for this kind of scouting pattern, because you look at having really any idea of what Cure wants to go. Maybe Cure is that kind of one-dimensional that he doesn't have to really commit an Overlord to scouting. He's like, well, he's always going to go for that third CC into Biomine, and from there, like, just play like a hardcore sort of Biomine macro style, and I just have to be on top of it. So I don't have to commit an Overlord. I just have to know when he's going to be moving out of the main base.
Yeah. I'm looking at this game right now, and I see the way Soulkey's playing. It's very passive. I mean, he doesn't get that third base yet. He's being very safe about it all, but I think about someone like Life. If he would have come into this game and he's like reading Cure, he knows what kind of style he goes for. This kind of Terran can be busted by a big Roachling all in. If you look at it, he's got one bunker with 4 Marines, and that's it. He was like swapping, making reactors, making a third CC. That's it. And well, even if 2 Hellions like pop out, he's not going to do so well against the Roaches. But Soulkey, just not that kind of Zerg.
Well, yeah, you see him take the other approach, which is get extra Queens. He's got 4 Queens out at the moment, which is going to be fantastic against Hellion Banshee, which is exactly what Curie is going to go for, and exactly what we saw him do against Dark on the very same map in Pro League, just recent times. So Soulkey, he knows this style. He's like, well, I could just try and kill him and risk it all, or I can go into that mid game very comfortably with these extra Queens to, destroy anything that comes his way, especially Hellion Banshee, which he knows for sure is going to be coming.
Definitely just shows that Soulkey is very confident in the later game, like the later stages of this matchup, I should say. And that's nice to see. You get these longer games.
He's going to have fantastic creep spread as well with this many Queens. It's just going to be ridiculous. He's going to be doing very well. But, he did sacrifice a later third base for it. Look at that, already putting down Spore Crawlers as well.
Yeah, he's pretty much prepared for everything. Back at the basic Cure, he's putting down that armory. Looks like he's going to go for a pretty heavy harass here with a bunch of Hellbats, some Banshees with Cloak, and maybe even some Marines mixed in there. He's been slowly making those at the same time.
Yeah, but we already see Banelings out, so this is actually going to do absolutely nothing if he so decides to commit to a Hellbat attack. And he might be. I guess he will have to now that he's made that armory, right?
Yeah, let's see how far he goes exactly. I mean, we do know at this time that he is, in fact, going bio, based on just the stem as well as the 2 EBs that just came up. This is more of like a mid-game kind of push that you can do with Hellbats, Banshees. And like you were saying, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be too effective.
See if Cure is actually going to commit to it at all. He's like, well, this guy knows exactly what I'm doing, and he is actually hard countering it to the point where he's making banelings and going mass queen, but it doesn't look like it's going to phase Cure at all. He's going to try for that third base. And even more banelings being morphed in, but I think you'd only need 4 with this amount of queens. Unless he's going to lose a queen like that. Here we go.
Banelings pushing forward. That was not a good hit at all, in fact.
Not the money hit.
3 Hellbats causing havoc there in the mineral line. But again, this is a lot of queens, more banelings pushing forward.
All right, so he has essentially wiped everything out at this point. He did save the majority of his drones. He's already got a practically fully saturated third base, so really nice damage control from Soulkey. Losing a few queens though, but he's still got 2, which is more than enough to get all the creep out in the map.
Yeah. I mean, the goal of that push is to, you know, do a lot of damage, especially economic damage, and he basically did none outside of those queens, you know what I'm saying? So Soulkey definitely pretty okay here. I mean, there is that third base coming down for the Terran. That's something he definitely does have to worry about. Knowing Soulkey, I'm sure he's probably just going to go for a fourth base, and there we actually see it coming down as I say that. And probably just playing for the later game here.
Yeah, going to be playing into that Mutiling Bane style. 1-1. Nearly finished as well for those Lings, but now 7 Mutas are on the way. And he's in a very good position, very healthy, but, you know, Cure isn't doing too bad for himself either. Sure, he didn't get too much damage done with the Hellbat Banshee timing, but he's got that third base nice and secure. His production is essentially up and running on 5 racks, and he's got the 1-1 nearly finished as well. Still anyone's game. A lot of potential. It's going to come down to the positioning and the attacks on the fourth base if Cure is going to commit to it. Creep spread isn't too good for Soulkey on that side of the map. He really needs to start using these active tumors.
Yeah, he was putting down a lot, but just hasn't really followed up on that. See the Widowmine starting to pop out 2 at a time. The Medevac's also getting out here. The unfortunate fact for Cure, though, is that with all these mutas out at this point in time, Drop's probably not going to be doing too much damage as long as Soulkey is in position. Do see a decent, not counterattack, but like a sideways attack coming from that other third base. Banshee coming into the fourth base, as well as one going to the main.
Interesting, yeah. Nice little counter there from Soulkey. He's obviously going to put Cure back a bit before... obviously, at this point, Cure wants to be trying to get into creep, trying to wipe out as much creep as he possibly can, so he can comfortably push down to that fourth base. And look where that third base is for Cure. He's going to be making things very easy for him to kind of parade push straight from the third down into that fourth base. Not going to commit to it just yet. Instead, going to be trying to get rid of as many tumors as he can. Still got to be careful.
Baneling speed is done. And there's just not much here for Cure. Okay, there's the rest of his army. And in fact, the Baneling's not exploding on that big batch of Marines. So not the best engagement for Soulkey, but he's got a lot more to follow this up.
Yeah, he's got a pretty scary army right now. But Cure is not that far behind in supply. And he's got a pretty deadly composition waiting for Drilling Claws. He's got 2 factories. He can make 3 Widow Mines at a time, but going to commit to a Thor first. And he's got some Hellbats in the mix too, so he's pretty dangerous mix, pretty cost-efficient mix, more than anything else. And the parade push begins now.
Here we go, nice spreads already. Not the highest number of Medevacs just yet. He's got 6, 2 of them popping out at a time, now going up to 7. Interesting addition of just 1 Thor so far. We do see 13 Mutalisks out on the map, so should be able to deal with that quite handily. He's going to actually continue making Thors, just in case. Already has the Drilling Claws for his Widow Mines, so this is a pretty scary Terran right now.
Yeah, he's in a great position. Not the best sort of creep spread. Going to try and remove some of these Widow Mines. She does a fair amount of damage to that bio, but still. Cure is actually ahead in supply at this point already. 2-2, nearly finished as well. They will be on even upgrades again. But things just get a little bit more dangerous when Drilling Claws is upgraded. And Thors are in the mix as well.
Nice pickup there by Cure. Oh, Supply Depot's down, and Lig's running the main in the natural. Very nice backdoor attack from Soulkey. That's going to be annoying to deal with. Actually going for that concussive shells.
Ooh, it doesn't finish. Doesn't finish. 99%, man.
Wow.
Well, it does a little bit of damage. Really buys time for Soulkey to go for this kind of attack. And it's going to get a lot done. That Thor actually absorbing a lot, and no Overseer to get rid of these mines. 5 survive.
Looks like there was a bit of a drop towards the 4th base that we missed at the same time, so kind of diverting Soulkey's attention as Soulkey was trying to do the cure earlier on with that Ling run by. See now a drop looking ahead probably towards the main.
Yeah, eventually they will be going straight into that main base. Going to be a nice distraction while we see Kira set up once again. The creepers kind of receded a lot towards the 4th base. That looks like Mutas are going to buy some even more time for now.
Yeah, there's barely even anything there to deal with it. There's like 5 Marines. This is going to push Soulkey back for now, but mainly because this attack is coming. Trying to take out those Widow Mines, gets 2 of them.
Ooh, even gets a Thor somehow.
What?
What? And I guess the one thing that it does do for Cure is he knows where the Mutas are if they're like trying to harass the main base or something, so he can actually push in. And the drop, not going to find too much.
Cure not missing a beat with this 3-3. The second 2-2 finishes. Goes straight into it.
Ooh, Soulkey's completely ready for this one. Not going to find anything. He's going to have to get out of here. He's going to be very careful of a counterattack at this point because that was a very one-sided engagement.
Yeah, he totally rolled over everything Cure had. And now even the medevacs on the run. 3 of them able to go down very quickly. Widowmine hits not the greatest, and Soulkey may just have enough here to at least push back this force.
Ooh, it's going to be close. A lot of those Banelings hitting very inefficiently.
And he does lose a lot of Muses at the same time, actually. Going down to 8 here. A lot more Banelings rolling through, but really nice spread here out of Cure. But he's just got barely anything to spread with at this point.
Wow, so close. Still, this 4th base going to get DPS down. The Mutas should be able to shut this down, unless reinforcements come out and save it. Nope, just going to die. Yep. Might have to use that main base pretty soon to get rid of to get that 4th base up and running, because it's really the lifeline for Cure at this point. He has to get it, or he's going to be tapped out.
He needs the 4th. He needs also the 3-3 to finish. At this point, I feel like Soulkey's almost trying to put on the pressure to end it before that 3-3 even becomes a factor. He was very close. He's now gathering himself. He's got a pretty nice army, making up those Banes once again. And he may just go for a follow-up attack here at the 3rd.
Yep, here we go. Only a bunker. It's going to be DPS down pretty easily by the Mutas. And does Cure actually have enough to defend against this? Looks like the positioning is just not favorable for Soulkey, so he won't fully commit to it just yet. Oh.
Those Widow Mines are running straight into Banes.
Not good.
Yep. Looks like Soulkey may just have enough to clean this up.
Widow Mines could do something here. Ooh, they get a nice Baneling hit, but still, there's simply too much.
Yep. Too much Zerg here. Soulkey has just gotten too much of an advantage. And he's going to push through. It looks like Soulkey's going to take game number 1 here, guys.
Very nicely done. And yeah, it's just a matter of time at this point. Up 100 supply. He has about 6 bases to the essentially 2 mining of Cure. GG.
Yep. GG. So kind of a very typical, straightforward ZVT we had there.